The actions of the fertility clinic have come very close to destroying me, have left irreparable damage to my soul.
This lady is suing an IVF clinic after she gave birth to a black baby. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we call out lies, hypocrisy, corruption, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters because truth conquers, but you can't conquer anything unless you're strong. That's why I love Ancestral Supplements grass-fed beef liver. Beef liver is known to be the most nutrient-dense food on the planet with over 80 nutrients packed into it, and Ancestral Supplements makes it easy and pleasant to bring nature's multivitamin and all its benefits into your life. We're talking faster metabolism, higher energy, and your cravings for crap go down. Get yours at ancestralsupplements.com/JPReacts and use discount code JPReacts for 15% off. Now, let's get into it. Now, when I first saw this story, I thought it was just a I thought it was just a racist lady who sued the clinic and gave up her baby because it turned out to be black. And I thought, ooh, this is a little bit of actual racism we get to explore here. Whoa, what's wrong with this lady? But it turns out there's more to this story, and it turns out like, yeah, my heart goes out to her. This is about the most complex, confusing situation you can possibly be in. Now, if you're a medical mind like me, you hear, oh, IVF. What's that one again? I'm glad you asked. In vitro fertilization is a medical procedure used to help individuals or couples conceive a child. It involves retrieving eggs from a woman's ovaries. Yuck. Fertilizing them with sperm in a laboratory. Maybe Fauci's laboratory in Wuhan. Well, no, that'd be weird. Some weird sperm. And then transferring the resulting embryos into the uterus. IVF is often used for those experiencing infertility, genetic disorders, or other reproductive challenges. So this particular lady, for whatever reason, she couldn't conceive. She used a sperm donor, so maybe it was just she didn't have a guy but wanted a baby. So she had a sperm donor from the IVF clinic. They scraped out her eggs. Boom, kind of the magic of science, and then they implant that embryo inside of her. Turns out it wasn't her eggs that were implanted inside of her. It was a black couple's sperm and that woman's egg. Brought together, conception, that was implanted inside this white woman. Here's a post from Mario Knopfel. IVF nightmare. Woman sues clinic after giving birth to wrong baby. We'll hear from the woman in a second. Christina Murray is suing a Georgia fertility clinic after, newsflash, allegedly don't go to Georgia fertility clinics, after an IVF mix-up led to her carrying and giving birth to another couple's child. Murray only discovered the error at birth when her baby's skin color didn't match hers. She's white, baby was black. Later confirmed by DNA testing. After 5 months, she gave up custody to the biological parents, saying she left the clinic with empty stroller instead of her son. A devastating case that exposes shocking failures in fertility medicine. Now, the research I did is 1 in every 100,000 IVF situations have an error like that. It's a shame that errors like that happen, but that's like 0.001% error rate. So it's like it happens, but it's not common. Probably sucks if it happens to you. So unfortunately, this isn't just a straightforward situation of a white lady going to IVF clinics and give me sperm donor, that white guy, and here's my eggs, scoop them out of me, now implant that. I'm glad I'm going to have a white guy's baby that I've never met, and boom, baby's black. I don't like this black baby, gonna give it back, sue the clinic. He gave me a black baby, I bought a white baby. Far from the case. On the surface, you just read the headlines, that's what you think. So let's hear from the woman.
The actions of the fertility clinic have come very close to destroying me.
Somehow this is probably taxpayer funded. We fund the births of the wrong babies to the wrong mothers. You said it costs us $45 billion each time we do this. We need to send money to Mozambique to get this done.
Have left irreparable damage to my soul and ultimately left me questioning whether I should be a mom or not. The moment you give birth and welcome your baby into the world is supposed to be this profound, beautiful, and life-altering experience. All of the emotional and physical pain and sacrifice associated with pregnancy and preparing your entire life to welcome a child are worth it when the baby is placed in your arms.
Come on, pregnancy's not hard. I'm kidding, ladies. I know it's a huge sacrifice.
My birth story is nothing like what anyone could ever anticipate. It is riddled with shock, confusion, fear. The birth of my child was supposed to be the happiest moment of my life. And honestly, it was.
Her lawyer's probably like, you shouldn't say that. We're trying to sue these people.
But it was also the scariest moment of my life. I spent my entire life wanting to be a mom. I loved, nurtured, and grew my child, and I would have done literally anything in my power to keep him. My baby is not genetically mine. He doesn't have my blood. He doesn't have my eyes, but he is and will always be my son.
So you can, and this seems genuine. I'll show you another article in a second. So once she discovered, oh, this is genetically not my baby, the clinic made a huge error. She was still so bonded to the baby that she wanted to keep him. I think I'd probably feel the same too. Like this baby was, men can get pregnant. So maybe I'll go through this. The baby was inside of her for 9 months, like incredible bonding. And then after the birth, she's like, wow, the baby's black. She was hoping, hey, it was just a sperm donor mix up and the baby's still genetically mine. Then she raised the baby for 5 months. Then she had to give the baby up to the biological parents. We'll get to how and why that happened in a second. So her heartbreak, the sadness she has, unless she's just a great actor and a sociopath, that is, of course, real. My heart goes out to her. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first, the countdown is on before the new administration exposes the whole pandemic. Most of us know that a lot of people's health was negatively impacted by global coercion. Whether it's severe side effects or long COVID, there's a natural solution formulated by Dr. Peter McCullough and the Wellness Company. And they just leveled up their original Spike Detox formula for $30 less. Introducing the 3-in-1 Ultimate Spike Detox. 4 times more nattokinase, 500 milligrams of bromelain, and 500 milligrams of turmeric root extract, all conveniently in one capsule. Nattokinase is an enzyme researched for its anti-clotting effects. Wonder why people might need that? Take that, spike protein! And along with bromelain and curcumin, it provides a potent blend for detoxification and cellular support. Ultimate Spike Detox is backed by research, offering effective support for your cell's natural repair and recovery. Experience the only formula used and approved by Dr. Peter McCullough, a top freedom-fighting doctor who risked it all. Before it's too late, get Ultimate Spike Detox at twc.health/jpreacts and use code JPREACTS for 15% off plus free shipping. That's code JPREACTS. Now back to the video.
Carry a baby, to fall in love with him, to deliver him, to build that uniquely special bond between a mother and a child, all to have them taken away. I'll never be the same woman. I will never fully heal or completely move on. And part of me will always long for my son and wonder what kind of person he's becoming. Coastal Fertility Clinic has hurt me in ways that I have yet to discover, and there are literally no words or unit of measure that can describe the damage that they have caused.
Not even the metric system.
My hope in sharing my story is that this will help prevent this from ever happening to anyone else trying to start a family of their own.
All right, so trauma, yeah, I think that's real. This isn't like a 400-pound lady orders a lift, can't fit in the car, sues Lyft, hey, my feelings are hurt. This is real trauma, and there's 2 layers to it. Checking out NBC News, getting into those 2 layers. NBC News is trustworthy. I wonder how they lie in this story, but let's take it at face value for a second. The suit filed Tuesday in a Georgia court alleges that Christina Murray unknowingly and unwillingly carried a child through pregnancy who was not biologically related to her, something she learned when she delivered the baby boy. This is NBC News, so they don't just say, like, the baby was black, she's white. Like, Murray then had to give up custody of the baby to the biological parents 5 months later, adding to her trauma, this suit says. So that's like the 2 layers of trauma. You learn your baby that you love, that you've carried, isn't biologically yours. Like, there has to be a level of trauma there. Second level of trauma, she legally has to give the baby up because the biological parents, of course, were tracked down from the fertility clinic. They're like, you're going to get a kick out of this. You have a baby. We accidentally planted it in someone else. So please don't be mad. So the biological parents sued for custody of the baby. They're in the right for sure. And this woman she's in the right for sure for wanting the baby. And of course, I agree with the courts, the biological parents, this horrible situation should have custody of the baby. But nonetheless, that's 2 layers of trauma for this lady. Is her lawsuit justified? To me, 100%. Again, this isn't the frivolous, like, hey, I'm 600 pounds. How come this airplane seat doesn't accommodate me? How come I can't fit in the lift? That's your fault. I'm suing you for $20 million because I want to. My coffee was too hot when I spilled it on me. Why'd you spill it? I don't know. I'm stupid. I can't find any information for how much she's suing the clinic for. I doubt it's a little bit. I mean, this is major emotional damage on this woman. So this woman decided to conceive and raise a child with the help of a sperm donor through Coastal Fertility Specialist, who operates IVF clinic in South Carolina and Georgia. The lawsuit says that Murray selected a sperm donor who resembled her. In other words, white. Just say it. The donor was white. Oh, they did say it. All right. With dirty blonde hair and blue eyes. Coastal Fertility transferred an embryo to Murray in 2023. But when she gave birth in December of that year, Murray immediately knew something was very wrong. The lawsuit says because the boy she delivered was dark-skinned African-American baby. All right, there's NBC News. Nonetheless, Murray bonded with the baby and loved him as her own, even after doing a DNA test, the lawsuit says. And I love that. She's like, I'm bonded. I love this baby. It's not my DNA, and I don't care. She wanted to keep the baby. She knew she had to tell the clinic. They confirmed through a DNA test of their own that the child was theirs. This is biological parents after the clinic contacted them, then sued for custody, the legal complaint says. Murray, the woman, voluntarily handed over the baby to his biological parents in court on an agonizing day. Like, this is a wrong situation. But that was the right thing to do in the wrong situation. It seems like she absolutely knew it. She voluntarily handed the baby over. And I would dare say that comes from the mother's love. Like, she could have probably drawn out this legal thing for a while, like desperately trying to keep custody. She didn't have to voluntarily hand the baby over. She, eventually could have involuntarily had the baby taken. But it's just like the old little wise tale of 2 women show up in front of the king, both claiming a child is theirs. Each mother makes their case, and the king says, there is only one solution. We must cut the child in half, and you each get half. And the one woman says, fine. And then the second woman says, no, don't do that. Just let her have him. And the king says to that second woman, you are the child's mother. He is rightfully yours. You take him. Because the king knew only a mother's love would be willing to actually give up the child if somehow that was in the child's best interest. So I do think this woman, Murray, voluntarily giving up the child, that speaks to her mother's love. She knew it was the right thing to do for the baby and the couple on the whole. And she was willing to go through potentially a whole life of pain and agony and missing this child. I haven't seen these details, but I would certainly hope that the biological parents of the baby would allow some level of suitable visitation, whether it's once a month or so. Murray, if she wanted it, I think that's the right thing to do as well. So nonetheless, this was an interesting case. At first, I thought it was just a racist lady who didn't want a black baby. Turns out to be way more complex, way more heartfelt, and unfortunately traumatic. And obviously, if you conceive a baby through like non-natural ways, you're in the medical system. Errors happen, errors with IVF based on my research. 1 in every 100,000 cases. That is very low, yet when there's an error, it's a big error. And as far as medical errors go, that actually does seem really on the low side. It just so happens that this lady was unfortunately 1 out of the 100,000. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let that be a lesson. I don't know what the lesson is, but let it be a lesson. Let me know what you think about this heartbreaking story in the comments below. Do you think the woman who gave birth should actually be the rightful mother, or do you think the biological parents, even though they didn't carry the baby, are the rightful custodians of the child? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Look forward to seeing you in our next video, but until then, stay free.